Well, back here for part 2 of my follow-up on my easy build, cheap garage storage, whatever you want to call it. This right here is the unit. You can see how tall it is here. It's 8 foot tall, sticking out of the back of my Dodge truck here, which has already got a lift kit on it, bigger tires, so it sets up a little high anyway. I moved the other one the other day, so I know the path will clear this. I was following behind them driving the truck so I could see. There was a couple places, the power lines that would not have cleared, so I'm glad I was back there to kind of watch. All I have is just the one tie down strap up in there. It's tied down super tight. This baby is not moving. I'm able to shake the truck. It's not going anywhere, so that's definitely a good thing. So one thing that did happen to it, so I was moving it out, I noticed I splintered some of these boards. I was loading this up by myself, doing all this myself. So I didn't have anybody to help me pick it up or help me carry it. So I did a lot of sliding. Unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention. I could have put the dolly underneath it, but it's hard to put dollies underneath just the 2 bottom feet. So I should have brought another board, something like that, to do that with, but I didn't. And that little bit of wood that lost there is not going to be a problem. So now the fun part's going to be taking it over to the new garage where it's going, and I will show you guys a little video of that. And the funnest part's getting it back out of the truck. Getting it in the truck's one thing to start off. You're on the ground, you just pick it up and you push as you go. Bring it out's a whole different thing. So it goes from no weight to all the weight all of a sudden as it reaches that pivoting point. So that ought to be extra scary for me by myself, because getting it out last time with somebody else there sucked also, let alone doing it by myself. It's going to be even that much worse. So wish me luck, and I'll get back to you in a second with it once it's in the garage. Hello everybody, back here for a little update video on my shelf I have here. This is that shelf that I built that has over 100,000 views on the video already. Built down my storage unit. I've since moved it out of there, moving it over here to the garage. And I got super lucky. One, it was too tall to fit in the door, which wasn't a big deal. I could have taken it apart, chose not to. Fell it on its side, slid it in, stood it back in here. But if you notice, just sometimes you get lucky in life. This outlet right here is clearly, could have been built perfectly for this. It absolutely fits great. Fits up against the wall nice and solid. And it also comes over and leaves me enough room before I get to the next outlet for this little plastic shelf to stick up in there. So I figure the plastic shelf's gonna be good for like lawn supplies, salts, that kind of stuff, for ice melt. That way I don't worry about it rotting the wood, that kind of thing. So that's pretty much what we have. The shelf has held up amazingly well. I mean, everything's there I want. Still got the screw sticking out that I hang my lock from. Won't need that here, but I'll figure out something for it. So pretty much works out great. Just wanted to go ahead and make this little update video and show you where I moved it to. And pretty much wanted to go ahead and say thanks everybody for watching the video. I'll probably put a link down at the bottom of that, tag of the actual original video to this video. So again, you can build yourself a shelf. That thing, I'll have to look and see exactly when I built that. Not sure, it's been 3 or 4 years. It's been forever, it seems like, in a day since I built that. And this thing is holding up rock solid. It had a tiny little bit of warping in one of the 2x4s. Not a big deal, I think I was held it together just fine. So other than that, I'm loving the shelf. It looks funnier and crap in the back of the truck, sticking up 8 feet out of the bed, which makes it almost 12 foot tall. So it was a humongous thing sticking up out of there and hanging. It was really kind of funny watching it go down the road. And had to watch a couple power lines, had to go around to kind of make it clear, but it worked. We got it here, we got it in the shop. Didn't bother taking it apart because I thought, anytime I take it apart, I put it back in, it's just that much less. The screws are going to be less likely to hold. There's no glue, no nothing in this thing, so I could be taking it apart. I just chose not to. So anyway, that's all I have for right now. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you very much for watching. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Get out there and build yourself a super cheap shelf. Well, back here for my wrap up, at least of this move anyway, of my shelf getting moved into the garage. The one thing that, this technically is a disassemblable shelf. It's only put together screws, there's no glues, no pegs, nothing like that used. So I could have taken it apart, but if you take screws out, put them back in, they're not going to hold as well. So on and so forth. So I just had to go ahead and just try this myself today, and I pulled that out of the unit, loaded up in the truck completely by myself. The unit's 8 feet long, like 6.5 feet high, something like that. No, actually it's probably higher than that. So it'd be, no, actually I guess it's 8 foot tall. So yeah, I guess I'm full 8 foot long, 8 foot tall, and then about 2 feet 6 inches wide. Thing weighs surprisingly a lot, but it's not so much the weight as it is actually just the overall concept of the bulkiness, the uneasiness. To get it in the garage, as you can see here, it's a short little garage, so I had to lay it down flat on its face, slide it through, move everything out of the way, get it in here, stand it back up, and luckily the garage itself is higher than the door, clearly, so I got it up in here, got it in place, got it knocked back up against the wall, nice and tight. I might come in and put a couple pocket hole screws back in the back corner where it kind of lines up. I don't know if you can really see there up against that main post. I might throw a pocket hole screw or two up in there, just kind of let it tie into itself. I also might come up in here on this 2x4 in the back wall, which you can't see, I guess it's just way too dark. I might throw a screw or two there, just kind of help make sure it's going to stay exactly where it's going. If this was being built originally for this garage, I would never built it that tall, because the top part is so stinking high that there's not much room for there. You can see the exact same unit I have over here already full of stuff. There's not a lot of space up there, especially where the rafter comes across. They got a suitcase, that's about it up there. There's a bunch of boxes, some of my eBay boxes, that kind of stuff. But pretty much, that's everything I got on there. This shelf here is completely open. That storage unit, the only thing it has left are my motorcycles in it, so I'm gonna pop them out of there either this evening or tomorrow, and I'll be good to go. So definitely really helps spread out this garage, gives a lot more space here. Definitely gonna work really good in this space. Nothing really major to talk about it, I guess. Just the fact that if you're moving one of these, get your friends to help you or take time to take it apart. I dropped that thing on my foot twice. It hurts like hell. And I get to go run here in about the next 20 minutes. I'm going to go for a 6-mile run. So we'll see how the foot feels on that run. But anyway, that's just my little final update in the garage. Shelf unit, cheap, little, easy to make. It's been super strong for me. The thing's been moved now, into this spot. It handled the move just fine. It's still super rugged. Never did paint it, not like that. Haven't had any problem with the bottoms, haven't had any problem with it at all. So definitely I'm all for this thing, and I have that baby loaded down with, I'm going to guess, there's probably at least that one shelf there for a while. I was on there probably 6-8 months straight, had at least 800 to 1,000 pounds on it. Had way too much weight in my opinion for it, but it held up fine. I don't see any bowing the wood, I don't see anything like that at all. I would not recommend that much weight. I would say probably 500 pounds per shelf spread out properly, you'd be good to go. So that's all I've got. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Get out there and build yourself a cheap shelf.